Hey everybody, it's your old pal Glenn Fricker, back again with yet another corporate-approved completely independent video. Today's topic comes from the viewer Piorka, which says,
after seeing this, I want to see you come up with at least 5 reasons to buy a Gibson.
well, my friend, that seems pretty easy. I mean, this is Gibson we're talking about. Gibson, the legendary brand that's pioneered guitar designs before guitars even existed. Sadly, I don't have time to list the thousands of reasons, so I've done the impossible. I've condensed it down to 7 awesome reasons you should buy a Gibson. Let's get right to it. Reason number 1. People will think you're cool and rich. There's nothing quite like spending $3,000 to $4,000 on an instrument with the sole purpose of showing it off to the other rich, vapid bastards you call your friends. Oh, and please be sure to pair that awesome guitar with an equally expensive amp from Gibson's latest acquisition, Mesa Boogie. Remember, only a Gibson is good enough to play those 2 shows a year in your terrible cover band. You wouldn't want people to think you're poor now, would you? You might have noticed that Gibson's guitars tend to be very popular with older generations, and not so much with young people. And you might think to yourself it's because there's competing brands out there offering better stuff for less money. More options in terms of extended range guitars, ergonomic designs, cooler color schemes. Well, you're wrong! It's because kids today have horrible taste in music and can't appreciate a fine instrument when they see one. Who needs modern design and fresh ideas when you can ride on your past glory and what you used to stand for? So to all the doctors, lawyers, golfers, guys named Chad, and investment bankers, you can rest assured that when you buy a Gibson guitar, you'll impress all your peers, and your generic dad rock riffs are gonna sound better than ever. Oh, and if you want to seem even cooler, grab a relic guitar. That way, everyone who sees you with it will think that you put in hours and hours of playing, when really, all you did was just pay for it. Number 2, iconic guitar shapes. If you've ever seen a guitar, be it in real life or on TV, chances are it was directly designed or inspired by one of Gibson's many iconic shapes. And by inspired, I mean blatantly ripped off. But hey, the more brands that rip off Gibson's designs, the more money they can make by suing their competitors. Isn't capitalism great? No, not for you people actually building the guitars. Capitalism is only great for the people who own the company. Now get back to work. Now that we've got that straightened out, here's a little history. Over the years, Gibson have designed and invented some of the most famous guitar shapes in the world. The SG, the Les Paul, the Explorer, and Flying V. They're all timeless designs which stand out in a sea of boring Strat shapes. If you want the original, you get a Gibson. End of story. Oh, and please remember to forget all the not so successful models that Gibson have made, like the Reverse V, or the Holy V, or the modern Flying V, or the Neon Les Pauls. It's almost like being at the top of the chain for so long has stagnated innovation, and people aren't buying guitars because they're good, but because they're iconic. Nah, that couldn't be it. Gibson's the best. Only a Gibson is good enough. Now quit messing around and give them your money. Number 3, versatile options. Another big reason to buy a Gibson guitar is the vast library of gorgeous finishes that they come in. Look at the Les Paul, for example. It comes in cherry sunburst, tobacco burst, black, I guess? Basically any color furniture you'll find at a stockbroker's house. And let's not forget the awesome finishes that the Gibson SG comes in, like red and, red? But who cares? These are historic colors because famous people play them. And really, what else could you want? And if that's not enough for you, Gibson also have a wide selection of pickup configurations on their guitars, like Les Pauls with 2 humbuckers, and this SG with 2 humbuckers, and this Explorer with 2 humbuckers, and this ES335 with 2 humbuckers. Consume product, keep consuming product. Consumption is salvation. All hail Gibson. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know what came over me. Moving right along. Number 4, creating jobs in America. Unlike most of the other inferior guitar manufacturers who make all their guitars in China and other countries that aren't as good as the good old USA, Gibson have always been an American company. And we all know anything that's made in America is just better than anything made in China. Why would any self-respecting artist choose to soil their hands with something that came from the Eastern Hemisphere? I mean, don't you people see? When you support China, you're supporting an evil government that underpays its workers and harvests organs for babies. Those monsters! Remember, kids, it's your moral responsibility as an American to support American businesses because it helps create jobs right here at home. People here need those jobs. I mean, have you seen how expensive rent is in Nashville? It's like $1,700 a month on average. So assuming $15 an hour minimum wage and an 8-hour workday, people working in the Gibson factory make about $120 a day or roughly $2,400 a month. That means they have a whopping $700 a month left for things like groceries, bills, insurance, and so on. But hey, it's better than no wage at all, and by buying a Gibson, you can rest assured that you're contributing to the exploitation of American workers rather than the exploitation of Chinese ones. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Wait, what? The minimum wage in Tennessee is only $9.25 an hour, and it's an at-will employment state? You mean they can fire you at any time? What kind of horsepucky's that? Oh, I mean, that's totally cool. Deregulating businesses like that surely means that the city is prosperous and economically stable, I think. Oh no, who's calling me this time? What's that? Nashville is $22,000 in debt per resident? And it's in the top 5 worst sinkhole cities in the US? Number 5, it teaches you a valuable studio skill. Now, one of the biggest complaints that the fine folks at Gibson get is from angry audio engineers who whine that the guitars don't stay in tune. This is, of course, fake news. Gibson guitars have absolutely no problem staying in tune. Ask anybody who bought one. Now, this might be confusing, but allow me to reveal to you a well-kept industry secret. You see, Gibson wants their customers to learn, not just learn how to play guitar. Oh no, Gibson wants to prepare you for the studio. You see, in recording studios, audio engineers will usually tell the guitar player to retune their guitars after every take. This is to ensure a nice tight sound that doesn't fall apart later when it's being mixed. Now, Gibson learned that guitar players are quite lacking in this field, as they have about as much discipline as the average college student. Yeah, you could study for your finals, but why do that when there's parties to go to and women to harass? Anyway, Gibson decided to give back to their customers and developed a patented technology they call the SADS. No, not the SADS your son has because you don't pay attention to him. SADS is short for Self-Adjusting Detune System. So what's it do? It makes sure the strings on your Gibson guitar go out of tune after about 12 seconds of playing. This way, once you finish playing, you'll have to stop, retune, and then get back to playing Eric Clapton for the 60th time in a row. Gibson are looking out for the consumer and making sure you grow as a person by growing your patience. Number 6. Better playability. Another completely false allegation thrown around by haters and online trolls is that Gibson guitars have problems with the headstocks breaking off. These trolls are obviously part of a massive conspiracy paid for by all the other guitar brands looking to tarnish the good name of Gibson. All the pictures of broken headstocks you have ever seen were actually people buying and breaking them on purpose with the goal of creating mass hysteria and drive sales away from Gibson. At least that's what the voices in my head are telling me. And it doesn't stop there. Other guitar manufacturers have started putting these things called volutes on their necks to reinforce the particular weak spot and saying, hey, our necks don't break like Gibson's do. What these thieves don't realize is that by putting these hunks of wood on the neck, they're inadvertently creating a playability issue. You see, a Gibson's neck is smooth, so you can hop from the bottom to the top with no problem. There's no nasty bump sticking out for you to hurt your precious fretting hand against when you have to do a fast slide down to the first or second frets. Gibsons are second to none when it comes to playability. The precision the workers take to build them is unprecedented. Seriously, it takes a lot of effort for a worker to toss a hunk of wood into a CNC machine and press start. And of course, this is something other manufacturers have also stolen from Gibson. Well, like I mentioned before, their CNC machines are in China, which automatically makes them inferior. Keep this in mind the next time you choose to support some no-name brand that supposedly wants your instrument to last. What they should be doing is calling their lawyers because they're not going to be around for very long once we sue them. Number 7, they're just better, gosh darn it. All of what I said so far adds up to the final and most important point of all. Gibsons are and always will be better. Think about it. Why else would hundreds of brands try and try again to copy Gibson's legendary designs? Would the 1977 lawsuit have even happened if Ibanez would have just made some original guitars? If Gibson guitars weren't the best, why are all the other brands trying to be Gibson? Checkmate! And to further prove my point, let's compare Gibson to their sister brand, Epiphone. Now, Epiphone were fortunate enough to have been bought by Gibson all the way back in 1957. And since then, Epiphone has been used to fill the gap in the budget guitar market, all the while doing this under the watchful eye of Gibson, who graciously allowed them to use their classic designs. So if they make the same guitars, why is Gibson better? Well, for starters, Epiphones are like Lego blocks. They're a mismatch of pieces put together with scraps of wood people didn't want. Just the body of an Epiphone Les Paul is usually made up of like 4, 5, and sometimes even 6 pieces of mahogany. A Gibson Les Paul body, on the other hand, is usually made from just one piece of wood, and properly dried wood, too. This process can be very time-consuming, and that's why Gibsons have that rock-solid sound that they have. A one-piece mahogany body, just like this 10S GF. Epiphones also usually have maple veneers, and these are paper-thin pieces of wood that are put on top of the guitar to give it that flame maple finish. Now, a Gibson has a proper top, made of hard and thick maple, just like this 10S. Well, Gibsons have rosewood fretboards. But then again, so do the Epiphones. But this 10S has an ebony fretboard. Hold on a second, isn't ebony more expensive than rosewood? What the? But, Gibsons have really good tuners like Clisons or Grovers. Now I'll bet this 10S has really bad tuners. Oh wait, these are Grovers too. Now wait just a gosh darn second. This thing has almost identical features to a Gibson. So it's gotta be a pretty expensive guitar. Let's take a look at the 10S website. Camo single cut. Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck! Directly by a Jesus fucking Christ! I'm like, fuck! Fuck's sakes! Ow! Fuck me! One more fucking time. Try and try again. Do Copsy Gibsons fuck! God damn it! This is fucking tough. The RCN machine.